In this video, I want to talk about why Boaz can't find Ruth. I know it's a lot of scheming and scamming and a lot of you can't trust women and she need to have her own when she comes in and things of that nature. But I'm talking to kingdom people about kingdom relationship, kingdom spouses, kingdom marriage, kingdom purpose, kingdom plan, kingdom business, God's kingdom and God's will for the kingdom. Boaz that I'm talking about is a man of God who is seeking the kingdom for what God has for him. The reason why Boaz can't find Ruth is because Boaz too busy trying to chase the Queen of Sheba. Because Boaz is well established and have everything that Boaz wants and needs. But Boaz wants for Ruth to come in with the Queen of Sheba status when Queen of Sheba is somebody who's ruling Sheba. Because her name is not Sheba. She is the Queen of Sheba. So she has her own stuff, her own businesses and seven figures and things of that nature. Or, she's a power woman. And many of you want that, but then you also want for her to be low level and come home and cater to you after she just bossed right along with you bossing at your 6-7 figure place. So you can't find Ruth because you're too busy trying to chase Queen of Sheba when Queen of Sheba has to rule, reign, and do what she needs to do in the position where she is as queen. But because Boaz is looking for the sound, peace, joy, the sweet spot, the person who's going to come in and give him what's missing in his life that nobody else can give but Ruth. Because Boaz needs Ruth and Ruth needs Boaz. Ruth been through some things. Ruth don't have a whole lot, but Ruth, she don't have a lot tangibly. But Ruth got a whole lot in her. Ruth can bring things to the table that money can't buy. That influence and the types of things that Boaz is looking for on the outside, that's not a kingdom Boaz. Because the world says that Boaz is a millionaire or a billionaire or a thousandaire even today. And, you have these things and you got to level up. She got to look like this and have that. And you keep getting your heart broken and following what the world says and what people telling you about what you need. And everybody miserable except for Boaz, who got his Ruth. Ruth may not have the things tangibly, but Ruth has wisdom. Ruth is intelligent. Ruth may have beauty on the inside that radiates on the outside and attractiveness. Ruth may be a strategist and have skills and things of that nature to take Boaz to new levels, to get the promises and bring the best out of Boaz. Because she's going to be a sweet spot, the Boaz. Boaz is going to be able to trust her with his deepest secrets. Boaz is going to be able to come home and not have a complaining nag who tries to manipulate and want everything to go in her favor, in her way, or feels like Boaz is not doing what he needs to do around the house, instead of having somebody who is going to wait and have certain conversations and, not be a nag and not be controlling and not feeling like, making him feel like they're trying to be just like the men that they work with all day, or trying to compare and compete with who Boaz is, but knowing who she is and not necessarily being submissive in a state of being less than, but knowing her place and being willing and happy to be the piece that he needs. Not because she don't have what he has, but simply because she is being who she is. Boaz keeps attracting people who he want to be what he need them to be, but they are not. So you keep breaking up, going on dates with people who are not even sparking intellectual conversation, because you're looking for something that the world tells you that you should have, but it ain't what God has. You're looking for something that you want, but you're not getting what God wants. Because God has been with Ruth. When Ruth was in other places and going through other things and being dragged through certain scenarios and things of that nature, Ruth has been through some stuff. If it wasn't for the mentorship of Naomi telling Ruth, you got to clean up, get dressed up and smell good, she had to take off her position of her everyday life and look like something that she was not at the moment in order to get Boaz's attention. Because she was a beggar. She was somebody who was picking up scraps. When Boaz noticed her, she didn't have a whole lot of stuff. She was among other people who was receiving the leftovers that was left over. So Boaz knew her situation, but it was something about her that he wanted. And in wanting that, it was something that he was missing. But instead of you looking for what's missing in your life, that peace of mind, being able to trust, knowing that somebody's not out to get you, knowing that when you come, you're safe, and you making her feel safe. Because all women really want is that safety and security. And if you have everything else that comes along with it, she'll be everything that you need. But you're not going to get that when you're looking for power for power. You're not going to get that when you're looking outside of for someone that God has not ordained for you. God needs for Boaz to be with Ruth. He needs for the promises to come forward. You know what came down through that lineage, through that bloodline? The Messiah. And I know Messiah has already come, but there are many promises that you are not going to get without Ruth. Because you need that peace. You need that sound mind. You need time to think. You need somebody who is going to encourage you and have your best interests at heart. That sweet spot that's going to make you feel like you are everything, because you are. When you're in a hard place, she's going to be a pillow for you to lay your head, the softest place and space that you need at that time. Not you having a rough day at work, at the office, in the business, and everything look like it's falling apart. She's going to be somebody that's listening, that hears. And when the time is right, maybe even give you some encouragement. But not in a time when you don't want to hear that, when you just want to vent and talk. But you want to equal up and level up. Power going to give you power. Masculine going to give you masculine. And it's nothing wrong with a masculine man wanting a masculine woman if that's what you want. But then don't expect for her to be who you need her to be when it's not in her to be anything but the boss that she is. And in her masculine and standing and holding her own and not willing to cow down and bow out to be who you want her to be when it's not in her to be. When she is the queen of her Sheba. You don't have Ruth. So you can't find Ruth because you're looking for what everybody think that you should have in Ruth. It's in Ruth to be who Ruth is. And when Ruth and Boaz get together, they are powerful. Kingdom business. Kingdom minded. Kingdom promises. Kingdom assignment. Kingdom blessings. Kingdom love, honesty, no infidelity. You got that relationship that's a bond that's not easily broken. And that's what Boaz needs. Somebody that's going to take him from level to level and give him the space to get there. Without him having to worry about the power and the power tripping. I'm going to do Ruth in the next video. Because a lot of us can't find Boaz. Because we too busy being everything. We too busy looking for King Solomon and King David. Instead of looking for the Boaz that's going to, help us to produce the promise of the blessings that God